franchises here, bud.
Hey, welcome back to the DP party with Dan and Logan. This week we added in Logan, another Logan. I'm talking about the Wolverine. That's right. But first, let me say hello to my number one co-host, the best guy around, the light of my life, my whole heart, Logan Beadair. What's up, buddy?
Let's get this shit over with.
No,
just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, that's not what they were thinking when they made Deadpool and Wolverine. It seems like they wanted to throw everything, including the kitchen sink.
There was no kitchen sink. That would have been a good joke.
No, oh, that would have been a good joke. What if he beat someone up with a kitchen sink? They've done that in hardcore matches in wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, like someone pulls out a kitchen sink and Jim Ross is like, oh, well, now we've seen everything, including the kitchen sink.
That's pretty good. I remember when Elon Musk bought Twitter, turned it into X, he walked into like the Twitter building or whatever you call it, and he walked in with a sink. And the joke was like, let that sink in. That was the joke. Like, I just bought Twitter. Let that sink in, folks.
That's so lame. I have an announcement to make.
What's that?
I saw a Cybertruck in person for the first time.
What color?
It was gray. The standard, slate gray.
Okay. All right. And what was your reaction?
Very stupid.
Was somebody in it? Was it parked?
Yeah,
by
no,
itself?
it was driving.
Oh, on the road.
On the road. Got to see it in motion. Looked like sort of how cars used to look when you played like PlayStation.
Right. Who was driving? Could you tell?
I couldn't tell, but I know one thing about him.
Mm-hmm.
Douchebag.
I thought you were gonna say small penis, which I thought was really good.
No, those guys get Mustangs. Hey, Dad.
But I wanted a Mustang when I was like 15, 16. That was the car I wanted.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
That's because you had a small... Then your penis grew, and you don't feel like needing one anymore.
Oh, if you say your dad has a small penis, does that kind of make you have a small penis?
Not at all. Are you kidding me? I've surpassed him.
Isn't it all a little hereditary, though?
Not at all. I don't know. Is that hereditary?
I don't know.
I don't actually know how big my dad's penis is.
Right. I'm not saying you would, but I feel like people don't insult her.
I saw it soft once, but
all right, let's move on.
It's hard to judge that, I'm a grower, not a shower myself.
I'm both.
All right. Well, this is perfect for our Deadpool and Wolverine episode. I feel like we're constantly talking about the characters' cocks.
You'd think I'd like these movies more as much as we talk shit about nonsense, but
yeah, talk shit about nonsense. I like there's one part in this movie where he's like, you got me in the tip with your claw. And then I had to think about Wolverine's claw chopping off a piece of Deadpool's penis.
Mm-hmm. Did you like the joke when his claws came out, but they're little tiny claws? Like had erectile dysfunction a little bit?
Yeah. Whiskey like claw, right? Or something like that. He says.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Ryan Reynolds, he's such a yuckster, and he's one of 5 credited writers on this new Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Now, they after Deadpool 2, I think they were burnt out. They didn't want to make one for a while, but then in the interim, of course, 20th Century Fox was bought by Marvel. I mean, by Disney, which includes Marvel. And so Disney's got the Deadpool rights now. I think that lit a fire under Ryan Reynolds' butt. And he was like, well, we don't need Brolin anymore. Don't need any black women mussing up the works.
I don't know why they brought the people back they did, though. Like, they brought his girlfriend back, Marina Baccarin, and she does nothing in the movie. She's at the start, she's at the end.
I know.
That's it. There was no point in bringing her back.
She's like his motivation. Like, I feel like that's what Ryan Reynolds thinks. Like, as long as she's there, that makes Deadpool real.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I didn't need it, personally.
You also have, you know who was there? Remember, I was like, they killed off that gay fella, and they never even said he was gay. He's back in this movie, but they still didn't say he's gay.
Who is this again?
Shatterstar.
Oh yes, I noticed him in the credits. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't make a big deal about it though.
wild to see him.
A lot of gay jokes in this movie. I thought
Oh, of course. Of
more
course.
than I anticipated.
Yeah, I think like they play it like Deadpool is probably bisexual, so he's allowed to make those jokes.
But there was like a character that kept looking at like Hugh Jackman, like that worked for McFadden, whatever his name is. And he kept like the way he kept like giving these eyes.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so weird. I was like, what are they doing with this guy?
I sort of like that joke at first. I got tired of it pretty fast, but when Deadpool was like, "Are you calling your wife?" and he goes, "No, I'm calling HR."
Right.
Does your wife work in HR? That's a good joke.
Yeah, the HR thing was funny. James Dryden, I believe, is this actor. He played TVA Tech. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of gay jokes with him. But anyway, continue.
All right, so we've got 5 credited writers on this movie. Ultimately, it's Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick who wrote the first two. It's Ryan Reynolds, who's really the creative driving force of this series at this point. They've got Zeb Wells involved. He's a comic book writer, but he also has a writing credit on that The Marvels movie, which I think is the only MCU film I haven't watched yet.
You waiting for the podcast?
I don't know. I'm interested in it, but yeah, we might do it. Like, there's 2 of them. Maybe we'll just bang it out in a week.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And Sean Levy, who's the director of this one, also credited as a writer. Sean Levy,
that guy's good.
You're not. No, he's not. He's a terrible director. You're not supposed to say that now because he's one of the big names behind Stranger Things, and you're not allowed to criticize those guys. But what people don't remember about Sean Levy is like he was around for like 25 years before Stranger Things, and he was always terrible.
I'm not that familiar.
I
mean, he's made a lot of famous movies, but I haven't seen them.
He's made a lot of famous movies, but they're terrible movies. Like he did like Night at the Museum.
A lot of them.
Did he do all of them?
At least 3 of them, I see.
Yeah. He made The Internship with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. He made Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey, which I've seen. It's bad. The Pink Panther, that movie with Steve Martin. How about Just Married?
I like that one kind of.
That's not good.
But I get a lot of nostalgia from that one.
It's like one of these movies where they're doing stuff that shouldn't be difficult to do, but they're having such a hard time.
Can I tell you who's in that movie?
Ashton Kutcher and Brittany Murphy.
Can I tell you his third build in that movie?
Tell me.
Christian Kane, aka Lindsay from
Holy
Angel.
Shit.
I gotta watch it again.
He was making a lot of movies around that time, man. I remember seeing him in Life or Something Like It with Angelina Jolie. He played a baseball player in that.
Okay.
Yep. Now, so Sean Levy, he's just been making bad movies for like 20 years, but like some of them made money.
He worked with Hugh, Real Steel.
Well, that's the thing, is he worked with Hugh in Real Steel. And recently he's been working with Reynolds a lot. Yeah. He did Free Guy and The Adam Project. And like, it doesn't matter whether either of those movies are good. Ryan Reynolds approves. Yeah.
That's all that matters.
So, right. He likes working with this fella. So he's here to direct this new Deadpool movie. We can't keep a guy for 2 straight on these bad boys.
Yeah, you're right. We can't. But if we make another one, we'll probably just bring this guy back.
Oh,
he seems to just be Ryan's guy.
Yeah, he seems like just a dude Ryan Reynolds can control.
He just lets Ryan be a goofball.
He
likes that.
Ryan does like that.
I don't know why. I thought Ryan was good in If. He was like played that role. Pretty... I know. I thought it was the best part of that. I mean, the girl was pretty good too, but I thought he played that role pretty straight, and it was actually pretty refreshing to see. I thought.
You know, it was refreshing to see only because it's different from like what he does always. But at the same time, like it was a boring character. It
Yeah,
had
but
no juice to it.
I think I like that more from Ryan at this point, maybe.
I don't know, man. Like Ryan, he's so one note that like I think when you throw him in something, you gotta just let him do the thing.
I know. I don't think we should shit on his Deadpool character because this is like what he was made to do, basically. Like, if there was one thing that he was made to do, it was probably this. So I don't want to shit on him for it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Or the proposal. Remember that joke?
Oh, that was a good joke. Yeah, I laughed at that. You know, Reynolds, he what was I gonna say?
He's great. You love him.
No, no, that's not what I was gonna say at all.
I don't know.
What
What
were we just
say?
talking about before you said the proposal?
Deadpool. How we just this is his
Oh, he's
role.
made for this. Yeah, I was gonna say when I read Deadpool comics, I read them as Ryan Reynolds now.
Of course. Does he look like Wade Wilson? Does Wade Wilson look like Ryan?
I mean, Wade Wilson's just a burned guy, so like it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
sure.
They put the makeup on him, and it makes him look like him.
I liked his hairpiece in this one.
Yeah, I liked it too.
It was funny. It was gross when it like the hair stayed on his head throughout the movie. When they kept anytime they showed
that.
it.
I
It was
like
gross though. I did too, but it's gross.
Yeah. All right. So listen, I'm no big fan of this Deadpool and Wolverine, but there's certainly enough to like in here. Here's the thing. It's like I like everything it's doing. The meta of it, like the commentary it's making on things like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Disney Fox merger or like its own reasons for existing. Like I liked all of that, but the actual story that it's trying to tell, I'm not interested in.
Right. But I have a question. Who is this made for really? Because I feel like kids would love this movie, but who's getting the Blade jokes and the Elektra jokes and all of that? I don't think they
movie,
would.
Are you kidding me? This movie is for people my age.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like
I guess so.
nerds in their upper 30s, early 40s who have like grown up on superhero movies and exist in a state of arrested development because they don't get laid a lot. And it's for like incels kind of. And but like that's
People
not
like
to say,
this. Don't people listening are like fans of this movie, possibly.
no, I know. I liked it okay. But like that's what the humor is for.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's what the references are for, if anything. And I do think kids would like this movie. Kids will like the dick jokes and shit. Like there's gonna be kids who see this that like beg their parents or like let me watch it on Disney Plus, and like they'll probably get to watch it when they're like 12 or something, and they'll love this shit.
Yeah.
It'll seem dangerous to them.
Will they remember that Chris Evans was also Johnny Storm?
No, but like you're making too big a deal out of that. Like that stuff, you can watch this movie just as like a story, and like the meta jokes don't need to work for you.
Whatever. I don't want to just bash it or whatever. But
like when I was a kid, when I was 13 years old, I saw the movie Dick with Michelle Williams and Kirsten Dunst. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was able to watch it just as like a teen. Hey, Ryan Reynolds also in that movie, by the way. I was able to watch it just as like a teen sex comedy, and I was like, Kirsten Dunst and Michelle Williams, they're cute and they're bubbly and they're making like silly jokes like Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion or something. Like that's the level I enjoyed it on. But then you grow up and you know more about like Watergate from like learning about it, and then it's like there's a lot going on in that movie. Like they're making a lot of commentary on like the state of politics in the 70s, but like I didn't need to give a shit about that one.
I guess that's like Pixar though, like Toy Story or Wall-E or any of those types of movies. Like when you're a kid, you just watch it and enjoy it, and then when you get like 15 or 16 and you're like, oh, this is more for adults. And then you get like in your 20s and you're like, oh, this is even more advanced than I even thought then. So I guess that makes sense. But maybe I'm just caught in the middle. Like I'm not older like you. I don't get it. And I'm not younger. I feel like I'm in the middle where I'm just in the lost zone.
But you know all this shit. Like you weren't around.
I just don't get excited for it, is what it is. I get it all.
You think I'm excited for it? You think I'm like popping for Chris Evans playing the Human Torch? I didn't like it in the first place.
I'm not saying you did. We're just here talking about what we feel. That's what I felt. I didn't get anything out of it.
How come they didn't use Ryan Reynolds as his character from Blade?
Well, they mentioned him.
They did?
There's a moment where he talks to Wesley Snipes and he's like, "I know you hate me," or something like that. It's like, "Oh, because you were in Blade."
But that's a meta joke. I mean, like, but he should have played that character from Blade 3.
Yeah, I guess
Hannibal King, I believe his name was.
Yeah, that's a good name.
So I was spoiled on Snipes, and I'll say this: like,
I knew he was in it.
I might have popped for a few of these cameos, but I knew almost all of them going in.
I didn't know Henry Cavill. That was a shock.
I didn't know that one, and the other one I didn't know was Jennifer Garner.
I knew that one,
so I was pretty excited by that. But I knew I was going to see the Tate as Gambit, and I knew I was going to see Wesley Snipes and Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Yeah, I enjoyed that Johnny Storm, but something I didn't like. I understand we're breaking the fourth wall, but the jokes to real life, like Elektra, you seem to be doing much better without Daredevil now that Ben Affleck's not in your life.
So what, man? I mean, they're constantly doing that in this series, talking about Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy and shit.
What? That's not real life. That's not having to do with them in real life.
But those are real actors that don't exist in the universe of the film.
I don't know. I feel like they blurred too much of a line with these type of jokes, and like the weird thing where
God, who cares? You're such a like of all the things to complain about in this movie. Like, why censor the jokes? Let them make jokes about real life.
I just didn't think they were funny. You don't have to censor them. I just don't know what do they get out of that type of stuff? And like the Blake Lively stuff, like where he's just like shouting out like, "Oh, I get a boner for my wife, Blake Lively. Isn't she hot?" It's like, what?
Okay, yeah, I didn't like that joke either. But I'm not saying they shouldn't be doing those jokes. Like, who cares?
Well, who am I to say they shouldn't? I just don't care for it.
All right, I just think like they're breaking the fourth wall in this fucking thing. Just go whole hog with it.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm complaining, but I wouldn't have seen this movie anyway, if not for the podcast. So, like, it's not like I'm going out of my way to complain about it or anything.
I would have, but you know, I'm a Wolverine. I'm a real sucker for this Wolverine guy.
I mean, me too. He's the first. When I was a little kid, I used to like style my hair like Wolverine. I would like spike it up on the sides, you know.
That's hilarious because your name's Logan.
Right, exactly.
You felt the kinship.
Totally. So I get it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have rushed to the theater though.
I just got up. I wouldn't have seen it in theaters. Yeah, I just got up to him. You know how I'm reading the Marvel comics from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I just got up to Wolverine.
He shows up that late?
Yeah, 1974 or something, in like an issue of the Hulk. That's his first appearance.
Are the X-Men formed at this point?
The X-Men are formed, but he's not part of them yet.
Whoa! All right, that's pretty cool. And the leader is Cyclops, isn't that right?
That is right. Because here's what happened with the X-Men is interesting. And like people are snoring already.
This is the X-Men episode. This is
I know. But the X-Men is one of like the original Marvel comics that Stan Lee put out. The cast was like Angel and Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, Beast, and Professor X. And it failed. Like the series got canceled.
Yeah.
And then they rebooted it in like the mid 70s with like, let's try it with like more international flavor. So they included Wolverine and Nightcrawler and Storm and Colossus, and that's really when it took off.
About Rogue, where's she at?
She turned up a little bit later. She was first introduced in the Avengers as a villain. and then
Ooh.
she was reformed and added to the team.
All right. All right.
I know a lot about the X-Men, guys.
Of course.
All right.
You know what I hated? No funny opening credits. Directed by this loser that made Night at the Museum.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Written by 12 guys. It just said that, like make jokes about everything. Didn't do it.
Yeah. No, just straight up. But
dance number though, we did get that.
There was a dance number. I enjoyed that because I remember the Bye 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 choreography, and he did it pretty well. And I'll tell you this:
it wasn't him. It was some.
I know. I read that too. But they did play Bye 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 in X-Men 2. Remember?
No. When?
There's a scene where Wolverine.
Oh, in the jet.
No, they're not in a jet. They're in a car, I think.
Oh.
And they're fucking with the radio, and Bye 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 comes down. Wolverine's like, ugh, and at the time, I remember seeing X-Men 2 in theaters and bristling at that moment because it felt too contemporary. It was like, I don't want to see this modern hit, an X-Men movie. And now in this, it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? It was too contemporary, and now it's nostalgia, and you still got the same guy playing Wolverine.
But they knew it, that they wouldn't have chosen that song at the time if they didn't know it'd stand the test of time, probably. Like, they knew this.
But I really didn't. I didn't at all.
Right.
Like, I thought it was going to come and go, man. Like,
that's why these people are the movie makers. They know what's up.
I don't know that they did. Like, did people think NSYNC was going to stand the test of time? At the time, people talked about them like they were like New Kids on the Block or something.
That hit, though. Everyone's got a few hits.
I know. I don't know. I didn't see it back then, but I mean, you're not wrong. Like, that song is still around. Like, you still hear it on the radio.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I guess if you're listening to the radio.
I like that song. In this one, did you catch what we heard on the radio in this song or in this movie?
What?
It's, by the way, I think that car scene is probably the best scene of the movie, right? Wolverine and Deadpool in the car, that whole dramatic moment with Wolverine and then the fight. That was good stuff.
I get so bored with fighting.
I thought the fight was really good though. The way they utilized like it all being in the car, I thought was really cool. And the emotional moment with Jackman was great. Clear MVP, right?
That I like. Oh yeah.
So clear. And it's hard to say, maybe clear LVP. I don't know what McFadden was doing.
No, I disagree with this take.
Maybe it wasn't even him, honestly. I just thought the character was so useless.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of was, but like, I think, listen, they threw a Tomlet in the movie, and I enjoyed what I got.
Yeah, I wasn't that into it. But by the way, he hit Logan Roy put the adamantium inside Logan in the first place, right?
That's a good point.
Let's see who else we can bring in here. So that's what happened. But I love the opening when he fought them with his skeleton. That was good stuff.
You enjoyed that?
Yeah, using the skeleton to kill all the bad guys.
It's good. There's too much dick trauma. Here's another thing I don't understand. I mean, it seems worthless to complain about, but like, doesn't the movie Logan, take place in the future?
Yeah, so
I mean, if Wolverine, if the X-Men movies are now in like the same canon as like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or whatever, wouldn't Logan be taking place like later than all this stuff? So like, why would he be able to dig up Wolverine's body? That wouldn't have happened yet.
Right, because the whole thing in this movie is Logan's dead, and he's like the link to everything, so we have to go find him. Right,
and I get that on a meta level. I get it on a meta level. Like, that's kind of a funny idea, but
in real world of the movie, he's alive.
But yeah, I couldn't justify it in story terms why his body would be there, because Logan wouldn't have occurred yet.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that might be a big hole in the entire movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
All right.
Maybe don't think about it.
Hey, did you pop for Daphne Keene
I
as
did.
X-23? It was nice to see her,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like she was one I didn't know was going to be in here. That was really
No,
cool.
I knew that one. I knew that one, but it was still cool. I love X-23 as a character, so just any excuse to bring her back, do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that much of a kinship to her or not, but it was cool to see her. Just the fact she was so grown up, I was like, holy shit! Like
I
that was so
know.
long ago.
I
I can't
forgot
believe
what a
it.
kid she was in Logan. Like at the end of the movie, they show like a montage
Of
of
her at the
like the
table,
Fox of different like Fox superhero movies and shit, and they
I
showed like
cried. No, not really, but I got emotional because
get
it
the
was set
fuck
to
out of
the Green
here.
Day song, the
Yeah,
Seinfeld
it was
song,
like a joke.
but it worked on me.
That worked on you here. That Green Day song. I mean, that can't make me cry these
Seinfeld though,
days.
because they used it for the Seinfeld thing, it'll always hit
Yeah.
me in a certain way.
What?
It'll always get me. I gotta be honest.
All right.
Not the song itself, but when you set it to a montage like that.
Um. Wait.
Are
What?
you okay? Are you like getting a call or something?
I'm getting like 19 fucking texts from Tim.
What?
Text from work. I'm like, leave me alone.
Oh,
All
oh,
right.
never mind. Don't leave us alone. He said I'm doing great in the podcast that I put up.
Which podcast is he listening to?
I talked about Wiki Feet and Brian Adams. He said I was doing a great job. I don't know. The last
Uh,
episode when we just put up. Hey, I'm watching you.
when I don't, God, I don't even remember what we talked a day later, man.
Uh, Tyler Maine, Big Sky showed up here. That was
Big
pretty
Sky, listen to
exciting.
you, fucking shouting out Big
We just
Sky.
met him last week, I
Yeah,
think.
in our wrestling timeline. Um, hey, could we back up a minute?
Oh, of course.
We went to see this in theaters. I'd like to hear about your theater experience, and I'd also
Nothing
like to.
exciting.
I'd also like to talk about the box office for this film.
Okay, I timed it perfect. I know. I noticed last time it was like 30 minutes of credits, and there were like 7 previews. So I was like, I'm not doing that again. As
Oh my
much fun
god!
as I had, I wasn't doing it.
I walked in late for Twisters, but I was right on time for this movie. There were too many trailers. I was losing it.
Yeah, we had the reverse experience. I sat through them during Twisters, so I nailed the timing this time. I didn't see any of them. Walked in right at the beginning.
Wow, good for you. Um, yeah, I stopped at Walgreens on the way, got some Australian licorice, Logan.
No, never had that or heard of that.
So good. And I got a Red Bull to keep me awake. I knew I'd have a tough time with this movie. I fell
How do you
asleep
sneak
during
that in there?
Deadpool 2. No, I drank it on the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But when I got there, I got a Coke. So you cherry Coke, 0. So you know that I peed twice during this movie.
Right, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Remember when?
Yes, I tried to time it exactly for fights. I was like, let me skip the fights. So the first pee, I went. It looked like Daredevil, Deadpool, and Wolverine. They were like about to fight. So I was like, all right, sweet. I went to pee. Then when I came back, I asked my girlfriend what I missed. She was like, they fought to Hell's Bells by AC/DC. And I was like, all right, great. I missed that.
That was Henry's favorite part of the movie, though.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And then I was trying to wait till the end, but the movie's so goddamn wrong.
Did you say wrong or long?
I'll tell you know why I said wrong? Because fucking Tim with another goddamn text that had the word wrong in it.
God,
Lee, I gotta put my phone away when we do this podcast. I'm not people be live tweeting our fucking podcast. But what are we talking about?
it's too long,
yeah.
you said. Or too wrong, you said.
It was too wrong. But I so it was like they were getting to the part where it was like the MacGuffin or whatever, and Deadpool was like, "I'm making a noble sacrifice," and I was like, "All right, I could go pee."
During the noble sacrifice? You can't pee during
Yeah.
the noble sacrifice.
Why? I went to pee, and then when I came back, it looked like Wolverine joined them, so it was fine.
You missed like him going through time looking for all the Wolverines?
What do you mean?
You missed that. I think he went through time and he was like, "Oh, I found the Wolverine, but he's dead, so I got to go through and find other Wolverines." And he finds one that's like really short, and he's like, "Oh,
No,
hello,
that's
comic
much
Wolverine."
earlier.
Oh, okay, so you saw that. Well, you said you came back and he had already had Wolverine, so I thought you
No,
missed
no,
that
no,
part.
no. I'm saying like Wolverine. This was the part at the very end with the MacGuffin,
Okay, okay,
and
okay.
like he said he's gonna sacrifice himself like Bruce Willis in Armageddon, and but then when I came back, Wolverine was doing it with him, so they
Right.
were a team. But no, I saw that part because I would have been so mad if I missed that because as a comic book guy, that was all for me.
Yeah, because he's short in the comics. If you don't know, guys.
Well, I don't mean just that though. Like all the versions of him, he sees Old
Oh,
Man Logan, right, from the Mark Millar comic, and then he goes to the Age of Apocalypse. He sees that version of Wolverine. That was exciting. And then the one on the cross
Henry
from
Cavill.
yeah, that one. But the one where he's like crucified on an X.
Right.
That's from the Mark Silvestri cover of Uncanny X-Men number 251, Logan.
Whoa, that was pretty horrifying. That one.
Yeah. And did I miss any?
Henry Cavill. No, I don't think so.
Cavalry.
They should. You know what they should have had? They should have had the Mission Impossible guy. He should have been a fake one.
Oh, well, they had Patch. They had him with the eye patch sitting at like a roulette table or whatever.
Who? That guy?
Wolverine.
No, but they should have had that. You know the story, like that guy was almost Wolverine, but that he did Mission Impossible too.
Oh my God, you're right.
They should have had him
Should
as a
have had that
Wolverine.
guy. Oh my God.
That would have been a good joke, actually.
Yeah, do Gray Scott.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been good?
Yeah, that would have been
Wait,
good.
what's he
Man.
doing? Is he out there alive making stuff?
I'm sure he's out there. I'm sure he's alive.
We could have got him too. Yeah.
I don't know. Some people turned this movie down. They tried to get Vinnie Jones to play Juggernaut, and they couldn't come to money agreement.
Oh, they should have paid him whatever he wanted. That would have been good.
I know.
So Cassandra Nova, she was cool. I thought that was Kaya Scodelario for the first 5 minutes I saw her. I thought they put a bald cap on Kaya.
No, it's Emma Corrin, right, from The Crown. They play Princess Diana on that.
Okay, you watched that, or you just know that?
I watched The Crown.
That seems like a cool show.
Yeah, it is. And remember, you got to use those pronouns for her. For that, God damn it!
Jesus Christ, you're terrible.
I'm a moron. I'm so bad at that.
I didn't know that, so you're informing me of that.
All right, yeah. But I thought the casting worked for me. My problem is that Cassandra Nova comes from my number one favorite X-Men storyline of all time, which is Grant Morrison's run on New X-Men. And I love that character, and she would make for a great villain in an X-Men movie. And I hate that she's being wasted in like an alternate universe in fucking Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't know anything about her. What is she? She's the twin of Xavier, is that right? Or just
that's right.
She said twin, right?
He strangled her. No, I believe it's the reverse. He strangled her with with the umbilical cord.
Oh shit! And
there's a very funny panel in the comics where they show that, like just two babies going at it in a womb.
but she lives, and then she moves away, and then
I think she survives sort of as like mental energy or something.
Huh.
Something like that. It's a complicated story, but yeah, then she shows up and really fucks shit up for the X-Men.
Yeah, I was into that character and that actor. I thought that they were pretty good.
I thought they did the effect. There's a thing they show her do in the comics all the time, like putting her hand through people's like faces.
Oh, I didn't like that effect.
And
actually.
I thought that effect really worked for me.
I didn't like it, and I didn't like the acting everyone had to do when they had it happen to them. I thought they looked dumb. I
I
didn't
don't. Maybe
buy
just
it.
because I know it from the comic, I was like on board.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Uh, did you like one joke? I figured you would. Whenever Blade shows up, and Deadpool's like, "Wow, Blade, I thought that you were retired," and then Blade says, "It was like, what'd you call me?" Did you like that one?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was all right. Um,
I thought you'd love that one.
I did you like the part where he was like, "I'm the only guy that's ever gonna play Blade."
I liked how subtle it was. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Deadpool just looks into the camera like, "Oh man,
yeah,
he doesn't even know." That was really funny. Um,
yeah. It was all right.
I don't know. I don't really have that much to say. We
It's hard because like it's a silly movie and like joke for joke, it kind of worked for me. But like, I just, I the story, so much of it is like them farting around like the void, and there's like a cloud monster that's like I guess from the Loki TV show that I don't
Oh
remember.
yeah, that was funny. They
And
even said like from Loki season 2, episode 5. That was pretty
I
funny.
believe it was season 1, episode 5. But yeah,
Oh my god.
no, because I clocked it because I was like, oh, then I've seen it because I didn't finish season 2.
Okay, yeah, my mistake. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
But yeah, it was just sort of like the like story wise, I didn't care, and I didn't care really about any action beats and stuff. When it was like Deadpool versus like a bunch of alternate versions of
Mm.
Deadpool, I was like bored.
I thought it was fun the way that was filmed, like Old Boy.
Is that's what you got out of it? I thought it was like a side scroller video game. I thought it was shot like the old Ninja Turtles arcade game.
You might be right. I thought this part in Old Boy when he's like going through the tunnel or whatever, fighting all those guys. It's like from left to right, and there's like
Yeah,
30
yeah.
guys that he's taking on. That was
I
similar
think
to that.
maybe I thought the same thing when I watched that movie for the first time.
You thought it was like the Ninja Turtles thing?
No, well, just like a side scroller video game. Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. Well, that's probably what they're going for. Yeah. But
Mm.
I thought that was cool. I don't know. The way they shot some of the action was neat. As I said, the car scene. That was probably the high point of the movie. But I don't know. I don't know why they had to bring everybody back, though. Like, as I said, Vanessa and Negasonic with her. They didn't add anything. I wanted them to do a little more.
Yukio made me laugh a couple times.
Yeah, she's good. I'd like to see that actor in more stuff. Maybe she has been. I haven't noticed.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, would you be able to like see her in a movie and be like, "Oh, that's Yukio"?
No,
from
because I feel like she has a
Deadpool
wig and
movies?
stuff in this movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I probably wouldn't.
I don't know. I'm mixed on it.
I think I'd just give all these movies a 2.
Yeah, me too. Like, it made me laugh more than maybe either of the first two, but I was certainly more invested in the story stuff in the second one. And so much of this was just like multiverse shit that I'm so sick of. And like no matter how many jokes you make about how shitty the multiverse has been for Marvel,
You're still
it
doing
doesn't
it.
you're still doing it. Yeah.
It doesn't excuse it. I agree, but I think what this one has more than the second one, I think Hugh Jackman's performance is better than anything in the second one. I do think this is probably my favorite one of the 3. I don't know. And you said it was that long. It's only like 2 hours long. It's not super long.
It's 210.
210. That's fair enough.
Did you stick around the closing creds?
What did anything happen at the very end?
There was a closing scene, yeah.
I saw the montage. I didn't see that.
He goes, I'm sick of the slander that I got Johnny killed. Let me show you a tape. And it shows
Oh, I did
them.
see this. I like.
Oh yeah. So you did stick around to the end.
But I felt like it was like damning evidence. It was like showing that he did do it. That he was like beating him down the whole.
It was showing that Johnny Storm said all that stuff.
But it seemed like Deadpool was like, wait, what else do you have to say? Like he was trying to force it out of him.
Fair enough, but he said all that stuff word for word, and he denied it in the moment and said that he didn't know what some of it meant. But he said
True. But it was Deadpool's fault too. I thought whoever looks at that tape should say, You're not out of the woods just yet, Wade. I don't know. Who's that tape for? Who's he showing that to?
Us, the audience.
No, we're the judge and jury.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anyway, did you like the Greatest Showman part?
What part was that?
When he's changing the radio and it goes to the the Great Showman song.
I'm not sure I noticed it.
Oh, best part of the movie. So in my third installments list, what do you give it a 2?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna rank I can't believe I'm doing this because I hated the second one when I first saw it. But like, I think I'm gonna rank him 2, 3, 1.
That's fine. I'll go 3, 2, 1.
All right,
but I don't really feel that good about it. In my third installments list, I have this ranked of 101. I also added A Quiet Place in there. This is 66 between Harold and Kumar Christmas movie and Tremors 3 Back to Perfection.
Wow,
I'd say that's a good spot.
Fair enough. I mean, I feel like it's a lot better than Tremors 3,
but not as good as Harold and Kumar, right? You were a fan of that one, I remember.
Yeah, no. I think the placement is right. It just feels like Tremors 3 and Harold and Kumar 3 are too close together.
Well, the things under Tremors 3, Free Willy 3, Three Ninjas 3, X-Men 3, Cloverfield 3, Jaws 3, Lion King 3. Once Upon a Time in Mexico, I'm not a fan of. I know that you are more than me.
Yeah, that should be higher.
And Transformers 3, I remember you liked also more than me. I might be wrong.
Oh, okay.
That's Dempsey. That's the
yeah. I just didn't totally hate it. Like, I hated so many of those Transformers movies that if I liked anything about any of them, I was like hanging on to it.
I get it. I understand completely what you saw on that one. Who's your LVP? I'm going McFadden. Maybe not the actor's fault, but that character I thought sucked.
Nah. Give me a second to look at the cast here. I didn't mention that this is already the number 2 movie of the year.
Really? Dune.
It's doing huge business. Oh, I know my LVP is.
Who's that?
Last week you were talking about how you didn't like the character Blind Al, and I was like, I'm fine with her.
Yeah.
I really didn't like her in this movie.
See, I don't even remember her being that bad in this movie.
There was like a whole running joke about cocaine and different things they like to call cocaine, and it felt sort of edgelordy to me. I didn't like it.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like we didn't talk about Channing enough, but he was hilarious.
Yeah, so he was supposed to play Gambit like maybe 10 years ago. They were talking
because it was
about
kitsch. And it's
kitsch in Origins Wolverine, but then they were talking about doing a Gambit solo movie, and it was going to be Channing Tatum, and he was like really into the idea. I think he even wrote the movie.
Whoa!
Yeah, and then it never got made, and so they dusted it off for this. So I like when they do stuff like that. Like, I always wondered what Channing Tatum's Gambit would be like. And I
turns
guess
out
now
awesome and hilarious.
Yeah.
I loved his voice he was doing.
I wonder though, like if in the original version of it, I don't think he'd be Cajioning quite so hard.
Right, like, he's doing it funny for the Deadpool.
Yeah,
movie.
He's doing it more as like a comedy character. But like, I'm fine with that. Tatum knows how to calibrate, baby.
Yeah, he's the best. So that was fun. So I don't know. There's Deadpool. You excited for a fourth one?
It's already made over $1 billion, Logan.
Did you say what was one? Is it Dune?
No, just Inside Out 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Which you still didn't see. You didn't contribute to that number. You don't care.
No, I didn't. I contributed to the Deadpool and Wolverine number.
Right. So, good for you.
Yeah. I saw the Beetlejuice trailer.
Yeah, that looks good.
Does it?
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it cautiously, but like I'm prepared for disappointment.
It's Burton. I feel like I haven't seen a Tim Burton movie in a while.
It's Burton. Like Tim Burton has made a good movie in the last 10 years.
People like Dumbo, I remember.
Dumbo's fine, but it's not like his old
Tim Burton
stuff.
It's not like that. Yeah, I understand. There are a few I gotta watch. Ed Wood, there are a few like classics I haven't seen.
Oh, you gotta see Ed Wood, yeah.
Yeah, I got to. You're right. But
that's just oh my god. Here's what really worried me about the about Beetlejuice is that I noticed in the credits for the movie, you know how they show them real fast at the end of a trailer?
Mm-hmm.
It's written by the dudes that created Smallville that did Wednesday for him.
Oh, okay.
And that's so poorly written.
Well, it's fair to be worried then.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
All right. Anyway, should we close the book on Deadpool?
Yeah, until next year. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
not going to be next year, but I mean, there's bound to be another Deadpool movie, right?
Until they're 90, they said.
Yeah.
At least Wolverine.
Yeah. I read that it was Jackman's idea to come back.
I think he should just keep doing it. He's so good.
I,
It did miss. I was watching the scene of him in the car though. I was thinking like, we got Prisoners. Like that was clearly the best thing he ever did, in my opinion. And then like he's never reached that again. He should maybe stop doing this and try to do more of that stuff.
is he not getting a little old?
I don't care. I don't think so.
I mean,
he
Wolverine's
is, but I
not
don't
supposed to age, man.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
All right. Anyway,
He just ages slowly.
yeah, but I guess he's been doing a lot of hard living in the last 20 years. Looks like he's aging pretty normally to me.
I don't see it.
All right.
All
Quiet
right.
Place.